stop scrolling. What you're about to hear will redefine obsession. This isn't just the story of a woman who murdered her husband and then went silent for 6 years. It's a chilling psychological game where the line between doctor and patient, victim and villain, completely blurs. Imagine a woman named Alicia Berenson. One night, she brutally killed her husband, Gabriel. What happened next wasn't a confession, but an unnerving, absolute silence. Not a single word escaped her lips, not to the police, her lawyers, or her family. You might think this is an open and shut case, but the deeper you dig, the more you'll realize that everything is far from what it seems. Alicia and Gabriel Berenson were the picture of perfection in London. She, a renowned painter whose realistic art fooled the eye, often hiding strange, incomprehensible details within her masterpieces. He, a famous photographer, equally gifted at capturing beauty. They shared a creative world, understood and loved each other, a seemingly unbreakable bond. So, what could possibly drive a woman to kill the man everyone called her soulmate? The night of August 25th in London was stifling. Suddenly, gunshots ripped through the humid air. 7, maybe 6 shots, according to the shocked neighbors, who had always admired the perfect couple. They called the police, convinced it was a robbery, never imagining the horror unfolding inside. What the police found was far more disturbing than a simple break-in. Alicia stood by the fireplace, a pistol at her feet, her wrist bleeding from an apparent suicide attempt. She was a statue of shock, staring ahead. Gabriel, her husband, was tied to a chair, shot 5 times in the face. With Alicia next to the gun and Gabriel dead, the conclusion seemed tragically clear. She was the killer. After receiving first aid, Alicia was arrested, but her silence was absolute. No pleas, no explanations, nothing. The police, bewildered, thought it was psychological shock, giving her weeks to recover. Weeks turned into months, but still nothing. Desperate, one open-minded investigator suggested giving her paints and a canvas, hoping art could unlock her mind. The police wanted to close the case. But how do you judge someone who won't speak? Alicia created a single, haunting painting. It depicted her with a blood-dripping brush, decaying fruits, and a strange signature, Alicia. This mysterious Greek legend, which we'll uncover later, baffled everyone. The judge, but the true orchestrator of this twisted tale, was just about to enter her life. Enter Theo, a psychiatrist battling his own childhood demons. He also harbored an obsession for true crime, writing about the cases he encountered. He heard Alicia's story and felt an irresistible pull, a need to understand her mind. The problem: she was in one institution and he in another. But fate, or perhaps a darker design, intervened. Alicia's institution needed staff. Theo resigned, applying there with a carefully crafted speech about helping people. He didn't mention Alicia. He got the job, his sights set squarely on her. He met Christian, a fellow psychiatrist he disliked for over-medicating patients, and Yuri, Alicia's first nurse. Through a coincidence, Yuri mentioned Alicia, sparking Theo's intense focus. Theo then approached Professor D, the institution's head. D, a seasoned doctor, had failed to get Alicia to speak for years. Theo, subtly flattering the professor, convinced him that Alicia might fear a famous doctor, but would trust an ordinary one like himself. Professor D, pleased, gave Theo the case files. These files, however, offered little clarity. They contained strange details and contact information for Alicia's family, including Gabriel's lawyer brother, Max, who had inherited everything. Theo started calling them, leaving messages. Max's name, remember it, will become crucial. Theo discovered Alicia had once violently attacked another patient, Alfie, trying to slit her throat. Even more disturbingly, Alicia's diaries revealed her parents had both committed suicide. In Theo's personal life, things were equally chaotic. He was married to Kathy, an American actress he adored, believing her to be his savior. But one night, high on cannabis due to work stress, he stumbled upon Kathy's laptop. He found conversations, photos, undeniable proof that she was cheating on him. His world, already fragile, began to shatter. Get ready, because the next session reveals just how volatile this silence truly was. Theo's first session with Alicia, after getting her files, was chilling. She was heavily sedated, her gaze distant, her mind absent. An hour passed in silence. Theo convinced Christian to reduce her medication. The next session, Alicia was conscious, her eyes clear, understanding every word. But she still didn't speak. Desperate to connect, Theo shared his own pain, his anger towards Kathy, suggesting Alicia's hatred for Gabriel was similar. That's when Alicia violently lashed out, attacking him, attempting to strangle him. Security intervened, and Theo was left with scratches, stunned by her sudden ferocity. His own life spiraled. His therapist, Ruth, advised him to leave Kathy, but he couldn't. He tried to confront her about the affair, but Kathy preempted him, accusing him of smoking cannabis. He weakened, apologizing to her, postponing his own pain. A call came from Max, Gabriel's brother. Max, a lawyer, had inherited Gabriel's fortune, not Alicia. Max claimed Alicia's own family money made her disinterested. He also revealed Alicia had seen a mysterious private psychiatrist, Dr. West, after her parents' suicides. Max's receptionist hinted at Paul, Alicia's uncle. Theo was building a mosaic, piece by agonizing piece. Theo reread Alicia's diaries. He learned she and Gabriel argued about guns in the house, which she hated. As Theo pieced things together, Kathy announced she was going for a run late at night. Theo, now deeply suspicious, followed her. To his momentary relief, she met a female friend. He returned home, dismissing his fears as imagination, vowing to focus on work. Theo visited Jean Felix, the gallery owner, who loved Alicia and her art, but despised Gabriel. Felix showed him the Alicia's painting. Theo researched the ancient Greek myth. A wife sacrifices herself for her condemned husband, who lets her die without protest, only for her ghost to return silently. The legend's parallels to Alicia's silence were uncanny. Convinced art was the key, Theo got permission for Alicia to paint freely. For the first time, she seemed happy, painting non-stop. Her first finished piece depicted a burning building, with Theo emerging, holding Alicia. But the perspective was ambiguous. Was he saving her, or throwing her back into the flames? Everyone saw a savior, but Theo felt a chill. Then came Barbara, a neighbor who showed Theo a blurry photo from her security camera. A man seen outside Alicia's house, a mere shadow behind a tree. No clear figure, just an ominous presence. The institution soon descended into chaos. Alfie, the patient Alicia had previously attacked, lay on the ground, a paintbrush impaled in her eye. She had defaced Alicia's painting. Professor D, fed up, ordered Theo to drop the case. Theo pleaded for one last session. This is where the walls truly crumble, as Alicia finally breaks her silence, with a shocking twist you won't see coming. In that final session, Theo laid out the situation. He couldn't help her unless she spoke. Alicia slowly reached into her pocket and handed him a small notepad, then walked out, still silent. The notepad began with the strange man following her. She wrote how no one believed her, dismissing her fears as imagination. Then she revealed her intense hatred for Max, Gabriel's brother. Before Gabriel, Max had tried to force himself on her. She had kept it secret from Gabriel, fearing his pain. At a dinner party, Max tried again, leading to a hushed argument. Alicia suspected Max was the stalker, perhaps even plotting against Gabriel for the inheritance. Overwhelmed, Alicia confronted Max, insulting him. Her fears escalated. She called Gabriel, but he, like others, told her she needed rest. Finally, he took her to her old psychiatrist, Dr. West. He prescribed pills, which Alicia secretly discarded, knowing she wasn't crazy. Her last entry, "Anyway, Gabriel, who will return late today, I think I heard the sound of someone with me inside the house." Theo, reaching the end of the corridor, saw an office. Dr. Christian West. Christian, his despised colleague, was Alicia's secret psychiatrist. Theo confronted him. Christian, terrified of ruin and exposure, begged Theo to keep his silence. Theo agreed, a sly grin playing on his lips. He was finally getting somewhere. He went to Alicia's room, returning the notepad. He told her about Christian, accusing him of over-medicating her to keep her silent. He tried to provoke a reaction, but she remained impassive. He left, frustrated, but with a growing sense of victory. That night, Theo followed Kathy again. She met the same man with roses, confirming his worst fears. He returned home, consumed by a dark plan. The next day, Paul, Alicia's uncle, called. He revealed a devastating memory. On the day Alicia's mother died, her father told her, "I wish it was you who died, not your mother." Alicia had told Paul, "He killed me at that moment." Theo raced to Yuri, begging him to bring Alicia to his office. With this new, profoundly personal insight, Theo confronted Alicia, recounting her father's cruel words. He shared his own emotional wounds, trying to bridge the gap. Then, an incredible thing happened. Alicia's face changed. She trembled, her lips parted, and she uttered a single word. "What?" After 6.5 years, Alicia Berenson finally spoke. The truth about that night is about to be revealed, but be warned. It shatters everything you thought you knew, not just about Alicia, but about Theo himself. Professor D, shocked but intrigued, gave Theo permission to continue. Alicia, once silent, now spoke freely, recounting her life, her childhood, her art, everything, until she reached the day of the crime. There, she froze. The next day, she continued. The person she heard in the house that fateful night was the same man who had been following her. He wore a mask, restrained her, and tied her to a chair. Gabriel called, and the masked man forced Alicia to answer, to tell Gabriel he'd be home late. He then waited in the darkness. When Gabriel returned, the masked man ambushed him, hitting him with the pistol, tying him up. Alicia recounted how, after Gabriel regained consciousness, the masked man shot him 5 times and fled. Theo listened, a knot forming in his stomach. But inconsistencies gnawed at him. Alicia wasn't tied when police found her. Her wrist was cut, not mentioned. Only 5 shots were found, not 6, and no third person was ever reported. He dismissed her story as a fabrication, a desperate attempt to manipulate him into releasing her. He went home, followed Kathy again, then followed her lover home. He saw the man was married. A twisted idea began to form in Theo's mind. The next day, Alicia overdosed and fell into a coma. Yuri claimed it was an accident, but Theo knew better. He saw an injection mark. He confronted Professor D, exposing Christian as Alicia's secret, negligent doctor. The police were called, the media descended, and Alicia's story exploded worldwide. Theo, weary but driven, walked to the lover's house. He crept into the backyard, through an unlocked back door, and donned a mask. He found the man's wife painting by a window. In the reflection, she saw the masked figure standing behind her, brush in hand. And this is where the truth explodes. Gabriel, Alicia's murdered husband, was Kathy's lover. And Theo, Alicia's psychiatrist, was the masked Nan, the stalker, the one who orchestrated that horrifying night. Alicia's final notepad entries confirmed it all. She recognized Theo from the first day, from his voice, his mannerisms, and a particular phrase: "I want you to see things through my eyes." This was the same chilling line the masked man had whispered to her. This was why she had attacked Theo in the institution that day. Theo, masked, had tied Alicia. When Gabriel arrived, Theo knocked him unconscious, then tied him up. He presented Gabriel with a horrific choice. Either I kill you or I kill her. Gabriel couldn't choose. As Theo counted down, Alicia pleaded for Gabriel to say he loved her. Gabriel remained silent. Finally, he whispered, "I don't want to die." Theo then leaned into Alicia's ear, whispering the ultimate betrayal. "He doesn't love you. He was cheating on you with my wife, Kathy." After hearing this shocking news, I believe death is better for you. He fired a shot into the ceiling, told her to be silent, then untied her and threw the pistol at her feet. Consumed by rage, heartbreak, and a profound sense of betrayal, Gabriel didn't choose her. He cheated on her, and he chose his own life over hers. Alicia grabbed the gun. "When I killed Gabriel," she wrote, "Gabriel killed me. All I did was pull the trigger." She fired 5 bullets into her husband. In the aftermath, Theo and Kathy divorced. Kathy's life crumbled into depression, fast food, and unemployment. And Alicia, the woman whose silence hid a truth too brutal to utter, remained in a coma, a silent victim of a psychiatrist's twisted revenge. Sometimes the most terrifying monsters are not those who wear masks, but those who wear the guise of healers. And sometimes silence isn't an absence of words, but a profound, unending scream.